They say time spares no one. But what if that's not entirely true? What if aging, as we know it, isn't a fixed sentence, but a process we can influence, even reverse? In 2019, a Harvard Medical School study discovered that simple breathing practices could slow and, in some cases, reverse biological aging markers. That means your breath, the most basic thing you do every few seconds, might be the key to turning back the clock. For thousands of years, ancient civilizations whispered the same secret in temples, caves, and monasteries. Control the breath, and you control life itself. Modern science, after centuries of skepticism, is now catching up to what mystics already knew. The way you breathe determines how you age, how you heal, and how you feel. In this video, we'll reveal the 9-minute longevity code, a breathing technique so powerful it can reprogram your biology, awaken hidden energy, and renew your body from the inside out. Modern life has quietly accelerated the aging process in ways most people never realize. Every beep, every notification, every late-night scroll keeps the nervous system in a low-grade state of emergency. Your body doesn't know the difference between an email alert and a predator in the wild. It reacts the same way. Shallow breath, tightened muscles, increased heart rate, and a flood of stress hormones. Over time, this survival mode becomes our default setting. Oxygen intake drops, inflammation rises, and cells begin to fray under the pressure. Scientists now know that one of the clearest biological markers of aging, shortened telomeres, is directly linked to chronic stress and poor breathing patterns. In essence, every anxious breath shaves moments from your lifespan. But here's the hidden epidemic. Most people breathe only 10 to 12 shallow breaths per minute, using just a fraction of their lung capacity. This under-oxygenation quietly drains energy, accelerates cellular decay, and dulls the mind. Our ancestors, on the other hand, lived in harmony with the rhythm of nature, breathing slower, deeper, more consciously. They didn't need biohacking devices or supplements. Their longevity code was written in the breath itself. The problem isn't that we're getting older. It's that we've forgotten how to breathe like living beings instead of machines. Long before science could measure oxygen levels or neural activity, ancient civilizations had already mapped the intimate connection between breath and life force. In India, the sages of the Vedic era called it prana, the sacred energy carried on each inhale. In China, Taoist masters referred to it as qi, the invisible current that animates the body and nourishes the spirit. The Greeks called it pneuma, the divine wind. Across cultures, across millennia, breath was never just air. It was the bridge between the seen and unseen, the body and the soul. Ancient yogis developed elaborate breathing systems known as pranayama, practices that could slow the heartbeat, still the mind, and awaken dormant energy centers in the spine. In Himalayan monasteries, monks performed tummo breathing to generate inner heat in freezing conditions, mastering their own biology through awareness and rhythm. The Taoists believed that long, gentle breaths extended life by balancing the body's internal energies. Their texts even warned, "A man who breathes fast will live fast and die fast. He who breathes slow will live long and die slow." Somewhere along the march of progress, this wisdom faded into myth. Industrialization replaced deep rhythm with mechanical speed. The spiritual art of breath became an unconscious reflex. We traded stillness for productivity, depth for efficiency. Yet beneath the noise, the ancient secret waited, unchanged, patient, and ready to be rediscovered by a world desperate to slow down. For centuries, the secrets of breath were considered mystical, existing in the realm of monks and yogis. But now, laboratories and universities are uncovering these same truths through the lens of science. Researchers have discovered that controlled breathing can influence the very foundations of human longevity, down to our DNA. Studies at Stanford, Harvard, and the University of California reveal that deep, rhythmic breathing activates the vagus nerve, a vast communication highway between the brain and every vital organ. When stimulated, this nerve shifts the body from fight or flight into rest and repair mode, triggering cellular rejuvenation. At a molecular level, breathwork has been shown to reduce oxidative stress, the silent killer that damages DNA and shortens telomeres, the protective caps at the ends of chromosomes. A 2019 study published in Frontiers in Psychology demonstrated that consistent breath control could maintain telomere length, essentially keeping cells younger for longer. Breathing deeply also increases nitric oxide production, expanding blood vessels, improving oxygen delivery, and enhancing mitochondrial efficiency, the body's natural power source. In short, the breath isn't just spiritual poetry, it's biological precision. Neuroscientists are now calling the breath a remote control for the brain. Slow breathing synchronizes neural oscillations, improving emotional regulation and focus. This means that something as simple as a 9-minute daily breathing routine can rewire the stress response, lower blood pressure, balance hormones, and even boost immune function. The data is undeniable. Your lungs are the doorway to longevity. Science has caught up with spirit, and both point toward the same revelation. Master your breath, and you master time itself. Science tells us that every emotion has a chemical signature, a hormonal echo within the body. Spirituality tells us that every emotion has an energetic vibration, a frequency that shapes reality. The breath is the bridge between the two. It's the thread that ties consciousness to chemistry, awareness to biology. When you breathe with awareness, you're not just taking in oxygen, you're directing life force, reorganizing energy fields, and influencing the deepest layers of your physiology. The ancients knew this intuitively. Modern neuroscience now proves it. When you experience stress, your breath becomes shallow and fast, signaling danger to the body. Cortisol spikes, inflammation increases, and cellular repair halts. But when you consciously slow your breath, the opposite occurs. The parasympathetic nervous system activates, flooding your body with healing biochemicals: serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin. Your brainwaves drop into alpha and theta states, the same states associated with meditation, intuition, and accelerated healing. In that moment, science and spirituality merge. The boundaries between mind and matter begin to blur. In deep breathing, mystics saw communion with the divine. Scientists see neurochemical equilibrium. Yet both describe the same transformation: a return to wholeness. When you breathe consciously, you reclaim control over systems once thought automatic. You become both the observer and the architect of your inner world. Every breath becomes a prayer. Every exhale a release. Every pause a quiet reunion with your timeless self. The 9-minute longevity code is not merely a technique. It is a doorway into the sacred union of energy and biology, where aging slows and life renews itself from within. The 9-minute longevity code was born from a simple but profound realization: time cannot be fought. It must be harmonized with. Aging, in this view, isn't an enemy to defeat, but a rhythm to realign. The technique draws from both ancient breath traditions and modern physiological science, merging them into a concise, powerful daily ritual. Its purpose is not just to extend life, but to restore vitality, focus, and emotional balance by reawakening the body's innate intelligence. At its core, the method revolves around one guiding truth. Longevity begins with awareness. The breath is the messenger between the conscious and the subconscious, the physical and the energetic. When you engage with it intentionally, you send a signal throughout your body that it's safe to heal, safe to grow, safe to thrive. The 9-minute longevity code leverages this principle in 3 simple phases: activation, expansion, and integration. Each phase builds upon the last, gradually transforming chaotic breathing into a rhythmic dance that nourishes every cell. 9 minutes may seem brief, but within that span, something extraordinary occurs. The nervous system rebalances, the mind quiets. Blood becomes rich with oxygen, cells begin to regenerate, and energy flows freely through once dormant pathways. It's like tuning a forgotten instrument back to perfect pitch. The aim is not merely relaxation, but reprogramming. The deliberate retraining of your body to function at its optimal, youthful state. This practice does not demand belief. It invites experience. Whether you approach it as a scientific experiment or a sacred ritual, the results converge. You start to feel lighter, sharper, more present. The years seem to lose their weight, and vitality becomes your natural baseline again. Now we arrive at the core of this journey, the breath itself. The 9-minute longevity code is a daily practice that realigns your body's rhythm with the timeless intelligence of life. It requires no equipment, no supplements, and no external aid. Only your awareness and 9 uninterrupted minutes. To begin, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Sit upright, either on a chair with both feet on the ground or cross-legged on a cushion. Keep your spine straight, chin slightly tucked and shoulders relaxed. Close your eyes and bring your attention inward. Phase 1. Activation, 3 minutes. Start by exhaling fully through the mouth, releasing all stale air. Then inhale slowly through the nose for a count of 4, letting your belly expand first, then your chest. Hold the breath gently for a count of 2, and exhale through the mouth for a count of 6. Repeat this rhythm. Inhale 4, hold 2, exhale 6. Feel your nervous system begin to slow, your pulse steady, your thoughts dissolve. This first phase clears carbon dioxide buildup, awakens circulation, and signals your body to shift from stress to restoration. Phase 2. Expansion, 3 minutes. Now deepen the cycle. Inhale through the nose for a count of 6, expanding the belly, ribs, and chest, like a wave rising from the ocean floor. Hold gently for 3 counts, then exhale through the nose for a count of 6. Visualize each breath spreading golden light through your body, illuminating every cell with fresh energy. As you continue, your awareness expands. Your breath and body begin to move as one. Your cells are drinking oxygen like sacred water. Phase 3. Integration, 3 minutes. In this final stage, let go of counting. Simply breathe naturally through the nose, slow and smooth, feeling each breath ripple through you. Focus on the space between breaths, the brief stillness after exhale, the quiet before inhale. That pause is where the magic lives. In that silence, the body reorganizes itself, harmonizing heart rate, brainwaves, and cellular rhythms. As the 9 minutes conclude, open your eyes slowly. Sit in the afterglow of calm awareness. Feel the pulse of life returning to your fingertips, your face, your chest. You have just reset your biological rhythm, reawakened your vitality, and reminded your body how to live, not just survive. Practice this once a day, and your breath will become your medicine, your rejuvenation, your secret key to timelessness. When practiced with consistency, the 9-minute longevity code begins to reshape you from the inside out, not as an abstract promise, but as a lived experience. The first transformation is subtle, a deep, unmistakable sense of inner stillness that lingers long after you finish breathing. It's as if a storm within you has quietly settled, revealing the calm beneath. You notice that your reactions soften, your mind becomes clearer, and emotions that once ruled your life begin to dissolve like mist under sunlight. This inner stillness is not mere relaxation, it's reorganization. As the breath deepens, energy once trapped in tension and worry is freed to circulate. You start to feel lighter, not only physically, but emotionally. Old thought patterns lose their grip because the breath is now writing a new story in the body's language, one of safety, coherence, and vitality. You may even feel gentle tingling in your hands or face, warmth in your chest, or an expansive sensation spreading through the heart. These are not coincidences. They are signs that life force is flowing unobstructed again. Over time, the practice opens what many traditions call the inner channels or energy pathways. In yogic philosophy, it is said that when breath flows freely through these channels, the body becomes self-healing, the mind becomes luminous, and aging slows naturally. Modern science observes the same pattern differently. Balanced oxygenation, stable heart rate variability, and synchronized brainwave patterns. You begin to live in a state of coherence, where every system in the body communicates harmoniously. This is the inner shift, the moment you stop chasing longevity and start embodying it. It's not about adding more years to your life, but more life to your years. The world feels more vivid, your thoughts more precise, your emotions more grounded. You no longer react from fear or fatigue, but respond from presence. The breath becomes your constant companion, a reminder that vitality was never lost. It was simply waiting to be remembered. When you commit to the 9-minute longevity code, the results begin to manifest in ways both measurable and deeply felt. Physiologically, your body enters what scientists call homeostatic coherence, a balanced state where all systems communicate seamlessly. Oxygen saturation rises, improving cellular metabolism. The mitochondria, your body's microscopic power plants, start producing energy more efficiently, reducing the fatigue that often comes with aging. Your heart rate variability, one of the strongest predictors of longevity, steadily improves, signaling resilience and vitality. Inflammation, the silent saboteur of health, begins to subside. Cortisol levels drop, and your immune system becomes sharper, responding precisely instead of chaotically. You may notice your sleep improving, your digestion calming, your mind focusing effortlessly. Even your skin tone may subtly change, reflecting the increased oxygen flow and improved circulation. Breathwork literally rejuvenates the body from the inside out, promoting detoxification through enhanced lymphatic movement and balancing pH levels in the blood. The longer you maintain the practice, the deeper the benefits run. After a few weeks, neural pathways associated with stress begin to weaken, while pathways linked to calm and focus strengthen. Your default state shifts from reactivity to relaxation. Over time, Scientists suggest consistent breathwork can even influence gene expression, turning on longevity genes while silencing those tied to disease and decay. But beyond all measurable effects, something more profound happens. You begin to sense youthfulness not as a number, but as a vibration, a frequency your entire being starts to hum at. You walk differently, think differently, interact with the world differently. The fatigue of years doesn't vanish. It transforms into wisdom and serenity. This is regeneration, not as a fantasy, but as a biological and spiritual awakening. The theory of breath as medicine is powerful, but the real proof lives in the people who have lived it. Around the world, ordinary men and women are rediscovering the art of conscious breathing and reporting transformations that border on the miraculous. One such story is that of Elena, a 54-year-old architect from Barcelona. After years of exhaustion and hormonal imbalance, she began practicing the 9-minute longevity code each morning before sunrise. Within 3 weeks, her energy stabilized, her mood lifted, and her chronic insomnia vanished. Her doctor later remarked that her blood pressure had normalized, and her resting heart rate had dropped by 10 beats per minute, something medication had never achieved. Then there's Daniel, a former triathlete who had suffered from chronic inflammation and joint pain in his 40s. Conventional treatments offered little relief, but when he incorporated breathwork into his daily recovery routine, everything shifted. "I started feeling warmth in my knees again," he said. "It was as if my body was finally listening to itself." Within 2 months, he was training again, not as fiercely as before, but with a new sense of harmony rather than strain. He often jokes that he's aging backward, and his blood tests seem to agree. Even in clinical environments, the results are astonishing. In one hospital-based wellness program, participants who practiced conscious breathing for just 10 minutes daily experienced significant drops in inflammatory markers and stress hormones. Nurses observed patients recovering faster post-surgery, sleeping deeper, and reporting less pain. Across all these stories runs a single thread. Transformation begins with awareness, and awareness begins with breath. Perhaps the most moving story is of Asha, a 68-year-old grandmother who practiced breathwork not for health, but for peace. After losing her husband, she began each morning sitting quietly, breathing with gentle rhythm. "At first I just wanted to stop crying," she said, "but after a while I began to feel him in the silence between my breaths." Her grief softened, replaced by calm and gratitude. Friends say she now glows with the same light she once mourned. These stories remind us that longevity is not merely about living longer. It's about living fully, vibrantly, with presence in every moment. The breath is not a miracle drug, yet it performs miracles daily for those who learn to listen. The 9-minute longevity code simply gives you the language to communicate with your body again, to remind it of what it always knew, that healing is your natural state, and vitality is your birthright. Once you've experienced the renewal that comes from the 9-minute longevity code, the next step is integration, bringing that expanded awareness into the rhythm of everyday life. Breathwork is not meant to remain isolated, confined to a cushion or quiet corner. Its real purpose is to transform the way you live, move, think, and respond. Each conscious breath is a bridge between the extraordinary and the ordinary, between meditation and action. Begin by weaving short moments of awareness into your daily routine. As you wake in the morning, before checking your phone or speaking, take 3 deep breaths the same rhythm you practiced in the activation phase. Let those breaths set your tone for the day. During work, pause every hour for 1 minute of slow breathing. Notice how your focus sharpens and your stress dissolves. Before meals, breathe gently for 30 seconds to activate your digestive system and prepare your body to receive nourishment. These small rituals turn ordinary moments into opportunities for renewal. As weeks turn to months, you'll start living from breath rather than breathlessness. You'll notice that your reactions to conflict soften. Instead of being hijacked by emotions, you find a pause, an opening where choice lives. This is how breath reshapes not only biology, but destiny. It restores sovereignty over your inner world. The 9-minute longevity code becomes more than a practice. It becomes a rhythm, a way of being in harmony with time itself. Integration also means aligning your lifestyle to support this transformation. Nourish yourself with whole, living foods that oxygenate the body. Prioritize rest and sunlight. Surround yourself with people and environments that breathe life into you. The breath teaches a powerful truth. Longevity thrives in balance, not in extremes. When your life becomes an extension of the breath, slow, deliberate, and conscious, you stop chasing youth and start embodying it. Every inhale becomes an invitation to receive. Every exhale, an act of surrender. You begin to move through the world, not as someone running out of time, but as someone timeless, in rhythm with existence itself. Imagine a future where aging is no longer a decline, but an awakening. A period not of loss, but of luminous evolution. Science is beginning to glimpse what sages have whispered for millennia, that human aging is malleable, a dance between biology and consciousness. Breath may be the missing link in this dance. In labs around the world, researchers are exploring how controlled breathing influences genetic expression, slows cellular deterioration, and even rejuvenates stem cell activity. What was once dismissed as mysticism is now a frontier of biological science. Picture a society where daily breathwork is as common as brushing one's teeth. Workplaces begin each day with group breathing sessions to enhance clarity and creativity. Hospitals prescribe breath therapy alongside medication. Schools teach children to regulate emotion and focus through the breath. This isn't fantasy, it's evolution, guided by awareness rather than technology alone. The future of human longevity lies not in the lab, but in the lungs. In this vision, breath becomes our most advanced medicine, a renewable resource of vitality that costs nothing and depletes nothing. By aligning our inner rhythm with the pulse of life, we could extend not only the number of our years, but their quality, coherence, and meaning. The emerging field of biospiritual science bridges neuroscience, epigenetics, and mindfulness, suggesting that consciousness itself may be the ultimate longevity factor. The breath is how consciousness enters the body. It's how the eternal whispers into the temporary. And so the question is no longer, can we stop aging? But rather, can we remember how to live? The 9-minute longevity code is not the end of discovery, it is the beginning. It invites us to reclaim mastery over our own biology, to transcend limitation through awareness, and to co-create the next evolution of humanity, one conscious breath at a time. So now you know, the secret to reversing aging isn't buried in laboratories or locked behind expensive treatments. It's right here, in your breath. With every inhale, you draw in the blueprint of life. With every exhale, you release the toxins, the fatigue, the emotional residue that weighs down your spirit. 9 minutes a day is all it takes to remind your body how to heal, to reawaken the intelligence that's been whispering beneath the noise of modern living. If you felt the spark while listening, don't let it fade. Begin today. Find a quiet space, set your timer, and breathe with intention. Let those 9 minutes be your declaration of renewal. This isn't a challenge, it's an invitation to reclaim the youth already coded within you. Every breath you take consciously slows the march of time and draws you closer to the timeless essence that you are. Share this video with someone who needs hope, who feels trapped by fatigue or age. Subscribe, not just to the channel, but to your own evolution. The 9-minute longevity code is more than a practice. It's a revolution of awareness, a movement of vitality. The next chapter of human aging begins with you, with one simple sacred act: breathe.